Okay, so in the previous video we looked at how we loaded up Sway, and hopefully you've got that bit done. And when we finished off with that video, we were at this point here where this grey bar had popped up saying start editing this Sway. So let's start to edit it now. To do that, we'll just click on it. Very simple. This might take a few seconds or perhaps even a few minutes depending on how fast your internet is, but basically it prepares the Sway so that you can add things to it. Now what they've done is they've added loads of content already. Okay, they've just got loads of stuff. It's all good stuff. It's advice. Introduce your trip. Where did you travel? What did you do? When were you there? To include maps of your travels, you can buy, inserting an embed card. We're going to look at what all this stuff is. But because there's quite a lot of stuff here, and because it could get quite complicated, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get you to take all this stuff out. Let's just start with a nice clean sheet, and it's easier to start, I think, from an empty page. We'll leave the title here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to click in the white box there. There's a bin, that means delete. Let's delete that box. That one's now gone. So here's the bin for this box. Delete it. Good. Click on this. In fact, if you click on the grey bit, you can delete all of these things in one go. If you've got lots of different tiles, let's call them, if these tiles are all held in one sort of grey border, then if you click on the grey border, you can delete the whole thing in one go, which is great. So that's that one away. Here's another one. We've got a bunch of different tiles, the white bits inside the grey border. Let's lose it, get rid of the whole thing. There you go. So what we've now done is we've now taken away all the extra content, because we're going to look at how we add that ourselves, and we're left just with this title one here. Okay? So let's change the title. Now I fancied going to New York, so I'm going to call it my New York holiday. In fact, to make it even easier, I'm going to call it Simon's New York holiday. Now, like all things with Office 365, whenever you make a change, it saves automatically. You don't have to worry about saving things. So it's going to save it automatically, and it's probably going to call it Simon's New York holiday. Okay? Alright, so we've got a title slide. Alright, let's add a next slide, because that's what we're going to call them. We're going to call them slides. If we click on the plus sign here, we get an option of different things we can add. Okay? Now we're going to try and go through all these one at a time to show you what they are. So these are the suggested things you could add, or you can decide, well, I would definitely want to add text, so that's the two text options, or I want to add media. You can add images or video or audio. Ignore this embed thing just now, it's a bit tricky. Or you can upload your own pictures and things to your Sway as well. And this group thing is where you can, do you remember we deleted those things in the grey borders? They were grouped, so you can group things together if you want, so that you can just make it a bit more fancy. And we'll have a look at these as well. But let's go for the suggested stuff just now, and we're going to put in a heading. Okay, a first level heading. So the writing's going to be quite big here. I went to New York for a week. Okay, first level heading. Now this background here, you can put pictures in, but we'll just leave it just now. Okay, let's put the next thing in, and we'll just put in text. Okay, this year I enjoyed a week in New York, and this is my holiday diary. Because if you think about it, that's kind of like what this blog's going to be. It's going to be like a diary of your, or at least a part of your holiday. Okay, so we've now got a heading, we've got some text. Let's add something else. Let's add an image. Now this bit's really good, okay? If we click on image, something very clever happens. An image searching thing pops up here on the right hand side. And it knows that we're talking about New York. I've already said it's Simon's New York holiday. I've mentioned the word week. I've mentioned the word year. So you can just click on these things. However, New York. Let's find a picture to do with New York. And what it does is it looks through all the pictures that it knows about, and it gives you suggestions for things that you could do. Now, there's something that's very, very important about this, okay? Whenever you add a picture to something that you're going to publish online, and remember this blog will be published online, you have to make sure that you're not stealing somebody else's stuff. So if somebody has spent a lot of time and a lot of money taking a beautiful picture of New York, and then you find it online and put it on your website, they might be a wee bit cross. So what some people do is they'll take pictures or videos or anything like that, but they'll say anybody can use this. They give it what's called a Creative Commons license. Now, as long as there's a tick in this box, then the images that you're seeing have all been given a Creative Commons license. That means anybody can use these pictures pretty much for anything they want, okay? And certainly for what we're doing, it'll be fine. So this is, I'm going to put a picture in here. I quite like this one just because the colours. So I'm going to click it and I'm going to drag it across to there. And I'm going to say this is a picture of the famous New York skyline. Okay? Okay, so far what we've done is we have, hold on, I can get rid of this now. There we go. What we've done so far is we have our main title slide. And the next slide is just a heading card. I went to New York for a week. Then there's a text card. This year I enjoyed a week in New York, and this is my holiday diary. Sorry, this year I enjoyed a week in New York. And then underneath there, we've just put in a picture. So let's look now at how we actually view this. Okay, because at the minute that looks rubbish. But let's see what it actually looks like when we play it. And here's the word play up here. Okay? So I'm going to press play, and it does a wee bit of work up there. You've seen the dots moving. And if you scroll down, there's my New York holiday. There's that photo that they had on that tile already. There's my title that I put in. There's my text that I put in. And there's the photo that I put in. So, oh, and there's the words that I typed for that photo as well. Looks quite nice. So that's very basic. We can make it a little bit fancier, very easily. If I click on this cog, and I go down to I like this one here, okay? If I click on the third option at the bottom, it does a bit of work at the top again, but now it looks a bit more like a PowerPoint presentation, okay? So if I can go left or right, I can go forward or back. I went to New York for a week, woo! There's that wee bit of text to put in. There's the picture, and there's that text about the New York skyline. So I really like that. Now remember, this is basically a web page. There's the web address up there. So once you've created your website, you can give that web address to anybody. I'll show you how you do that. And they can look at your work. They can see what you've done. It's a presentation online. Okay, I'm going to stop this video here. In the next video, we'll look at how to add some more fancy stuff.